Hello and welcome to this little video here just to keep you on track with 3.9 and 3.10. So 3.9, this is just sort of the testing and feedback, and I know again it's tough in class, but there is links, right? You should be able to share the link if you want to through Teams, if you want to chat with them before or after the class, if you want to get some feedback there, you can do that too, right? I know there isn't that much time because we're moving on, but have somebody, try to get somebody to look at it and give you any suggestions, and then see what you could improve there, right? So I know that's sometimes tough, right, to see if there's an improvement, but it might even be you just spotting to see what the improvement is. Yeah? And it's always good, I'm sort of answering the question here, but to get feedback from others, because again, you have a very sort of, this is the way it should be kind of mentality, right? And then you realize, ooh, I wasn't thinking like other people were or whatever, right? Your perspective is one way and you might need somebody else's to see what's a better way to do it perhaps, right? And it might not be better, right? Your way might be the best, but you sort of have to give consideration and think about why your way was better than the other. And that sort of goes with what's the value of getting feedback even if you aren't finished? Well, that's where, we have alphas, right? People try out software. There's something called dog food. So if you're dog fooding, I guess is the verb. So you actually use the software that you are developing. And does it work? Does it not work? What's kind of good about it? What's bad about it, right? And then that way, if you actually use it, right? If you eat the dog food, you actually use the app, then you can have a better idea whether or not it works. So that's just sort of, part, I guess 9 here. 10, right, is basically finishing it up. And so there is a rubric there. We'll just run through that very quickly in a second. And there's a little bit of a reflection as well. So you can just sort of add that to the bottom of the Word document. Speaking of that Word document, I think it's popped right here. Give me 1 second. And so a little bit big here. Can I just make this smaller? There we go. So like it says, like this is basically, going to be your A level, sort of B level, C level, and, not passing, right? So we can sort of take it down to that. User screen, interface screens, right? Make sure that, you've got at least 3 screens. More is fine, but don't go crazy. You don't have to. User interface navigation. It makes sense, right? There's no dead links kind of, right? You can work between all the screens. If I'm here, I can get back. Don't, lose somebody deep in the app and they can't get back to the home screen or whatever the case is. That you've got one of each, at least a text box, sort of an image, an audio, right? Those are put into your app, okay? Runs without errors. So if I play test it or, it doesn't crash, it doesn't freeze, whatever the case is. This is sort of looking a little bit more inside, that you haven't just called it, text box. You've given maybe the name, right, that makes sense. So this is probably where more people will have maybe a mistake, or not a mistake, but sort of, I guess, being lazy, right? Just going with the default names. Do not use the default names, okay? So I'm going to be checking for those. This here, some people are worried about, is my topic okay? As long as it's cohesive and it makes sense, and it's not just random things, and it, that's going to give you full marks there, okay? If it's just like, one page is about this, and then something about something completely different, and there doesn't seem to be any sense of cohesion, that's going to bring you down, right? Again, I'm not looking for the most amazing app in the world, right? We're just looking for something that you were able to create and be that's what we're looking for, cohesive, right? We're just trying to make something that makes sense, right? So making sure that you fill this guide out as best you can. I know about the feedback. I will take that into consideration because we don't have that much time, nor do we have class time for it. And then the written response, right? So again, for those of you interested in writing the AP, right, that create performance task, you do have to sort of write. And so describes the purpose, functionality, inputs and outputs of the app. So why is this sort of like a computer kind of thing, right? What's it doing with it? And then, now this might be a little bit more difficult. I will take it, your own idea too, okay? So it fully describes an idea or recommendation provided by a partner, a peer, family member, yourself, the rubber ducky, Mr. Fleming, whatever it is, right? So, and how it improved the app there. So taking, like, maybe you were thinking one way and then you took it a different way, okay? Now, for some of you, I always say that you sometimes maybe have to embellish it a little bit, okay? Tell a story, and that's okay. But, keep it realistic, and try to sort of say, I was sort of thinking that my app would be like this, but because of the limitation, or because somebody suggested, or, I talked to Mr. Fleming and he said this, and I took that into consideration. That's what we're looking for here, okay? So, yeah, don't worry too much about that. Good. So hopefully that gives you enough, and I look forward to looking at your apps.